In this module, we're going to learn how to conduct health and safety inspections. First, why do we have health and safety inspections? The primary function of health and safety inspections is to maintain safe residential spaces and halt any student behavior that puts the health and safety of themselves and others at risk. To this end, staff from the Office of Residential Living will be conducting a visual inspection of residential spaces and examining each unit for any maintenance or student behavioral issues that pose a health and safety risk. Additionally, staff members will be inspecting to ensure no prohibited items are present in residential spaces. Any and all prohibited items identified will be confiscated, and residents responsible will be notified and will proceed through the Code of Conduct process. We conduct health and safety inspections once each semester. Whenever we enter a space, we want to give notice, so Residential Living will send out email notices twice through StarRes to residents the week before inspections. These emails will let them know that our team members will be entering the space during designated dates and times. Inspections take place over the course of 1 week and between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. You or your CD may also send additional notices to your residents about when inspections are taking place. You should consult with your supervisor for more details. When completing inspections, you need to have another RA go with you, so pick a time that works for both of you. If no one on your team is available at the same time as you, please consult with your supervisor to identify an alternate plan. You and your partner RA should knock on the door and announce yourselves as Residential Living. If a resident is home, they can open the door for you to enter and complete the inspection. If no one opens the door, knock again 2 more times before keying in and announce yourself as a resident assistant with Residential Living. If you enter a space when there is no resident present, be sure to leave a notice of entry form in plain sight inside the room. These will be provided by your supervisor. You will get submaster keys from your supervisor to complete inspections. It's important that you only use the keys for inspections and that you return them to your supervisor once you are done with inspections. You should not loan the submasters out to anyone else. It's also important to note that for apartment and townhouses, you should inspect all of the rooms in the space, not just the common room. Once you are in a space to complete an inspection, it's important to remember that you are observing, but not touching or opening. To be clear, do not open cabinets, drawers, refrigerators, or other things in the space. If you see violations, however, you must document them. You are looking for maintenance and security concerns. These include things like cleanliness, functional smoke detectors, sprinklers, emergency evacuation signs, and window delimiters. If you see issues with these types of items, such as plastic bags over smoke detectors, excessive trash, or missing emergency evacuation signs, you should note these things in StarRes. For cleanliness, students should be able to see the floor, and there should not be excessive trash that would attract pests. This means if there are pizza or food boxes, bags of trash, or other items hanging around, you should mark that this aspect of the inspection failed. You are also looking for prohibited items and policy violations when you are completing inspections. Again, these should be things that are in plain sight, and you should not open cabinets during inspections. If you see any policy violations, such as alcohol in a room or apartment where no resident is of the legal drinking age, candles, extension cords, unauthorized pets, or grills, you should confiscate the items and submit an incident report through Maxion. Residents authorized to keep assistance or support animals or approved appliances by the Academic Resource Center are not to be documented for having prohibited animals or appliances in their space. You will be provided with a list of residents authorized to have these animals or appliances from your CD in advance of the inspections. All other residents will be documented and will have 1 week to fully remove the prohibited animal and all other related materials from their residential space. Confiscated items should go to your CD's office, and you will leave a notice of confiscation for the resident. If you find something that makes you feel unsafe, such as weapons or drugs, you should leave the room and call GPD and the CD or the CDOD. The CDOD will give you further instructions. If you have questions about whether or not an animal is authorized, or you're confused about whether or not to document something you see during an inspection, call your CD or CDOD. Sometimes, we may also find things missing in rooms during inspections. For example, if you notice that a double room is missing 1 desk and know there is a desk in the lounge on that floor, you should note that to your supervisor to follow up on. If you see anything that looks off, inspections are your time to note it. This could include indications that a guest is staying over too much or other small signs. It's also a good time to get to know your residents and check in with them as you're going from room to room. It's also possible that when you're in a space, you see a facility concern. Take the time to help residents file work orders, and if it's an emergency such as a leak, call work management directly at 202-687-3432. So to recap, you and your partner RA will set a date and time to complete inspections. You will enter spaces in pairs after knocking 3 times and are conducting visual inspections for safety and security issues, and for policy violations. As you are visually scanning the space, you will need to document your inspection in StarResX. First, download the StarResX app if you have not done so already on your smart device. StarResX works on both Apple and Android phones. For login and first-time app activation steps, please go to this link. Once you've logged in, select Inspection from the menu. Next, select Browse by Location. From that list, select your community's name. For this example, we're using Darnell. You will narrow down the list by selecting the floor, then room, until you are at the space you are inspecting. Here, we'll be inspecting Darn-101, or Darnell Hall, Room 101. Click on Darn-101-H+S Inspect to select the correct inspection. Begin by scrolling down and viewing each item you are inspecting. For each item, click on the right pointing arrow. If the item is in good condition and you have visually inspected it, check the box under Inspected and then go back to the previous page. Repeat for all items. Make sure to hit the Save button in the upper right-hand corner to save your progress at every step. All checkboxes must be checked off to complete the health and safety inspection for that space. When you see items that are visibly damaged or policy violations, you must take a photo. Tap on the camera icon in the top left corner in the item menu to take a picture. You may need to give the app access to your camera if prompted. Select Take New to capture a new image. Also, please remember that for policy violations, you need to submit a report to Maxium. When you leave a space, make sure to lock the door behind you, even if you found it unlocked when you arrived. And that's all there is to completing health and safety inspections. If you have any more questions, please see your community director.